Good afternoon, radio fans. Big Al here on this Saturday, April 9th, 2022. And we're continuing our journey on the AM and FM radio stations across southern lower Michigan. And today's edition takes us into the capital city and mid-Michigan, as we'll be taking a look at the Lansing area, as well as south central lower Michigan, including the cities of Jackson, Hillsdale, and Adrian, Michigan. Now, there are not too many radio stations found in this portion of the state, so this should be knocked out rather quickly. That being said, let's jump right into it. The AM and FM radio stations from across the capital city of Lansing and south central lower Michigan. Starting off on 730, that's WVFN East Lansing. They're known as the Game 730 AM. They are a sports talk station affiliated with ESPN Radio. They're also Lansing's official home of the Detroit Tigers and Grand Valley State Lakers football. WVFN began broadcasting on January 20th, 1965 as the original WVIC. The station underwent 3 call sign changes using 2 other sets of call letters before becoming WVFN with their sports format in 1992. So they pretty much has had their sports format for 3 decades now. WVFN has a Class D license with the fees and only 50 watts at night. Their studios are located at 3420 Pine Tree Road in Lansing. Transmitter is located at 2221 Gun Road in Holt, Michigan, which is a Lansing suburb. Square License LLC. On 870 is WKAR AM, East Lansing. They're branded as WKAR News Talk. This is a public radio news talk station with affiliations with NPR, American Public Media, Public Radio International, and the BBC World Service. And this year on August 18th, 1922, as experimental station 8YG. The station aired on 6 different frequencies between 1922 and 1941, when the station was parked on its present day position at 870, and has always been under the ownership of the Michigan Agricultural College, which would later become what is now Michigan State University. WKAR AM has a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting during daytime hours at an effective radiated power of 10,000 watts. Studios and offices are located at the Communications Arts and Sciences Building on the Michigan State campus at 404 Wilson Road, room 212 in East Lansing. The station's transmitter is located near the intersection of Forest and Beaumont Roads, also on the MSU campus in East Lansing, the same transmitter tower used by WKAR FM and WKAR TV. WKAR AM is owned by Michigan State University, licensed to the Michigan State University Board of Trustees. WKAR is a daytime-only station, so by FCC law, they are required to sign off the air at sundown. However, their programming is repeated 24 hours a day on translator station W272 EM, licensed to East Lansing and located at 102.3 FM. 970 is WKHM AM Jackson. News Talk 970 AM and 101.5 FM. They feature a news talk format with news updates from Fox News Radio and programming from Premier Radio Networks and the Michigan Radio Network. And this is also Jackson's home of the Michigan Wolverines, predominantly their football games. WKHM signed on the air on December 7th, 1951. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts effective radiated power. Studios, offices, and transmitter are located at 1700 Glenshire Drive in Jackson. WKHM AM is owned by Jimmy McKibben, licensed to McKibben Media Group Incorporated. Programming repeats on translator station W268CA Jackson at 101.5 FM. 1110 AM is the same station as 96.7 FM channel 244. So this is a simulcast, if you will. WUNN Mason, Michigan on 1110 covers the Lansing area. And WUFN Albion, Michigan, which covers the Jackson area, broadcasts on 96.7 FM. Both stations are branded as Family Life Radio, broadcasting a religious format affiliated with Family Life Radio. WUFN signed on the air in 1971 and also used WALM FM as its call sign. WUNN signed on sometime in the 1960s. WUFN Albion Jackson has a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting with an ERP of 3,200 watts, while WUNN Mason Lansing is a Class D station, which operates at 1,000 watts during daytime hours only. Programming originates from Family Life Radio's headquarters at 7335 North Oracle Road, Suite 200 in Tucson, Arizona. WUFN's transmitter is at 2255 North Concord Road in Concord, Michigan, while WUNN's transmitter is at 1571 Tomlinson Road in Mason. Both stations are owned by Family Life Communications and licensed to Family Life Broadcasting System. WUNN, which broadcasts on the clear channel frequency of 1110 kilohertz, is a daytime only station by FCC law, so they are required to sign off at sundown. However, their programming is relayed 24 hours a day over translator station W260BX Lansing on 99.9 FM. 1180 is WXLA Diamondale, Michigan. They're known as Easy 93.3 with a soft adult contemporary format, and they are affiliated with the Michigan Radio Network. WXLA signed on the air as WDTB on September 20th, 1982. The station became WXLA on June 30th, 1984. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts ERP daytime, 2,000 watts ERP critical hours, and pre-sunrise authority of 500 watts. Their studios are located at 600 West Kavanaugh Road in Lansing. Transmitter is located on Greenberg Road, also in Lansing. WXLA is locally owned by Saginaw, Michigan-based McDonald Broadcasting. WXLA is also a daytime-only station. Per FCC regulations, this station must sign off the air at sundown as well. However, their programming is relayed 24 hours a day on translator station W227DO Lansing on 93.3 FM. Lansing's Big Talker. This is a news talk station with news updates on the hour from ABC News and programming from Westwood One and the Michigan Talk Network. WJIM is the Lansing affiliate of Michigan State Spartans football and men's basketball, but is not the team's flagship station. Those duties belong to WJR in Detroit. Notable programming heard on 1240 WJIM, Lansing's Big Talker, include The Steve Gruber Show, Michigan's Big Show with Michael Patrick Shields, that's from the Michigan Talk Network, and nationally syndicated programs hosted by Dave Ramsey, Todd Schmidt, Joe Pags, Mark Van Kemp, and Robbins. Also, Our American Stories with Lou Habib, and the nationally syndicated Red Eye Radio, which airs during the overnight hours. WJIM AM signed on the air on August 22nd, 1934 on 1210 kilohertz. The station moved to 1240 in 1941. So this would make it the second oldest radio station in Lansing, behind WKAR. WJIM AM has a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting with an effective radiated power of just 890 watts. They broadcast from studios located at 3420 Pine Tree Road in Lansing. Transmitters located at 2150 East Malcolm X Street, also in Lansing. 1240 WJIM, Lansing's Big Talker, is owned by Town Square Media and licensed to Town Square License LLC. This would make it a competing station. Sorry about that. This would make it a competing station to our next station, and that's 1320 WILS Lansing. Their brand is 1320 WILS. Their slogan is Live and Lansing. This is also a news talk format with news updates from Fox News Radio, programming from Premier Networks, Westwood One, and the Michigan Radio Network. Now they have more of the big name conservative talkers on this station, as notable programs that air on WILS include The Morning Wake Up with Dave Eckerly, that's their morning drive program, and nationally syndicated shows hosted by Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, Jim Bohannon, Lars Larson, There's First Light, and the nationally syndicated Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, which airs during the overnight hours, whereas WJIM broadcasts Red Eye Radio in that same time slot. WILS signed on the air on February 19th, 1947, initially as an AM daytimer on 1430. The station moved to 1320 in March of 1950. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 25,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Their studios are located at 600 West Kavanaugh Road in Lansing. The station's transmitter is on North Smith Road in Windsor Charter Township. WILS is owned by Saginaw-based McDonald Broadcasting, and this is the second of 4 Lansing area stations that McDonald Broadcasting owns. 1340 is WCSR AM Hillsdale. They're known as 99.5 The Dale, featuring a country music format. This station slammed on the air as WBSE in 1955 and became WCSR in 1959. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting with a daytime ERP of 500 watts and a nighttime ERP of 250 watts. Their studios are located at 170 Northwest Street in Hillsdale, which is also the location of the station's transmitter. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 273, Hillsdale, Michigan 49242. WCSR AM is owned by McKibben Media Group Incorporated. 1390 is WLCM, Holt, Michigan. Victory 1390, featuring a Christian radio format. This station signed on the air as WCER on August 25th, 1956, and used 3 different call signs before becoming what is now WLCM on December 26th of 1992. They have a Class B license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 5,000 watts ERP days and 4,500 watts ERP nights. WLCM's programming originates from 5210 South Saginaw Road in Flint. The station's mailing address is P.O. Box 338, Charlotte, Michigan 48813. WLCM's transmitter, in fact, they have 2 transmitters. One they use during daytime hours and the other at night. Their daytime transmitter is located at 1613 Lawrence Highway in Charlotte. Their nighttime transmitter is at 5207 Bunker Road in Mason. WLCM is owned by the Christian Broadcasting System based in Flint, Michigan. And this station is also Lansing's home of Notre Dame Fighting Irish football. Wanted to get that in. 1450 is WIBM Jackson. They're known as 95.9, the Power Cow. This station has a country music format and signed on November 20th, 1927, originally in Jackson. So this makes it one of Michigan's oldest radio stations. The station also used WXEM and WCXI as call signs, and has used WIBM as the station's call sign on 2 separate occasions. From June 3rd, 1925 through June 25th, 1980, of course, the station signed on as WIBM. And then their second run was from April 8th, 1987 to March 29th, 1994. 1450 returned to the WIBM call sign, on December 8th of 1995. They have a Class C license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting with an ERP of 810 watts. Their studios are located at 1700 Glenshire Drive in Jackson. Transmitter is on South Detman Road in Leone Township. WIBM is owned by Jimmy McKibben and licensed to McKibben Media Group Incorporated. WIBM's programming repeats on sister station WKHM FM 105.3 HD3, which is licensed to Brooklyn, Michigan, and relayed on translator station W240DG Jackson on 95.9 FM. 1490 is WABJ Adrian, branded simply as WABJ AM 1490. The format is the same as the station's slogan, News, Talk, Sports. This station began broadcasting in November of 1946, which makes 1490 one of the oldest surviving radio stations in mid-Michigan. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts effective radiated power full-time. Their studios are located at 121 West Wmmq in Adrian. This address may be outdated, as I got this info from radiolocator.com via the FCC database. The station's transmitter is on Racetrack Road near East Heights Drive, also in Adrian, Michigan. WABJ is owned by Bud Walters and licensed to Southeast Michigan Media Incorporated. 1490 has suspended operations indefinitely due to financial issues at the station. 1510 is WJKN AM Jackson, also known as Good Shepherd Catholic Radio, featuring a Catholic talk format, affiliated with EWTN Radio. This station began broadcasting in 1963 as WDJD and underwent 3 call sign changes using 2 different sets of call letters. The station became WJKN on August 21st, 1985. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts effective radiated power during daytime hours only. Their studios are located at 704 Northeast Avenue in Jackson. Their transmitter is at 2412 Kibbe Road, also in Jackson. WJKN AM is owned by Jackson Lansing Catholic Radio. 1510 is a clear channel frequency in the United States. Thus, WJKN must sign off the air at sundown due to FCC regulations, according to their license being a daytime-only station. However, WJKN's programming is relayed 24 hours a day on translator station W227BY, licensed to Jackson on 93.3 FM. 1540 is KTGG, Okemos, Michigan. This is another Lansing suburb. This is part of the Strong Tower Radio Network, featuring Christian talk and classical music. KTGG signed on the air on August 15th, 1985. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting with a daytime ERP of just 400 watts, which reduces to 219 watts during critical hours. Programming is based from the studios of Strong Tower Radio in Cadillac, Michigan, while the station's transmitter is located at 2150 East Malcolm X Street in Lansing. KTGG, which is part of the Strong Tower Radio, is owned by West Central Michigan Media Ministries. KTGG is a daytime-only station and must leave the air at sunset. However, the station programming is relayed 24 hours a day on 2 translator stations in mid-Michigan. On W22CU on 92.3 FM in Charlotte, and on W284AH at 104.7 FM in Lansing. 1580 is WWSJ St. John's. They're known as Joy 1580 and 100.3. WWSJ began broadcasting on September 23, 1959 as WJUD. And talk about having an identity crisis. 1580 underwent 8 call sign changes using 7 different sets of call letters. Yeah, that's an identity crisis. The station became WWSJ on September 13th of 1985. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting with a daytime ERP of 1,000 watts. Station studios are located in St. John's at 1363 West Parks Road, Their mailing address is P.O. Box 451, St. John's, Michigan 48879. The station's transmitter is at 3143 County Farm Road, also in St. John's. WWSJ is owned by Helen Harp and licensed to Kingdom Builders of Larlin, LLC. Their station's programming is relayed on translator station W262BD on 100.3 FM, licensed to the Lansing suburb of Diamonddale, Michigan, although the transmitter for this translator station is located in the heart of downtown Lansing. That's kind of strange, don't you think? And rounding out the AM portion of the dial is 1590 WTVB Coldwater, the voice of Branch County. This is a full-service classic hits radio station, Hits Total. WTVB signed on the air on August 6th of 1949. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting with an effective radiated power of 5,000 watts during daytime hours, 1,000 watts during nighttime hours. Their studios are located at 182 North Angola Road in Coldwater, which is also the location of their transmitter. WTVB is owned by Duke Wright and licensed to Midwest Communications Incorporated. Programming is relayed on translator station W238CD Coldwater on 95.5 FM. All right, so that's the AM dial. Now let's jump to the non-commercial FM band, starting off with 88.1, channel 201, 203, as they are both pretty much the same station in a sense. 88.1, channel 201 is WLGH Leroy Township, Michigan, which covers the Lansing area. 88.5, channel 203 is WJOM Eagle, Michigan, and this serves the Portland, Michigan area. Both stations identify as Smile FM. Both air contemporary Christian format affiliated with Smile FM. WLGH Leroy Township signed on the air on November 25th, 1996. They have a Class B1 license with the FCC, broadcasting with an effective radiated power of 6,700 watts. WJOM Eagle, Michigan, on the other hand, their first sign-on is unlisted on Wikipedia. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 4,300 watts. Programming originates from Smile FM's main studios in Williamston, Michigan. And they have a couple of mailing addresses here too. All right, for UPS and FedEx deliveries, the mailing address is 172 North Cedar Street, Imlay City, Michigan 48444. As for WJOM, mailing address for UPS and FedEx deliveries only is the same address, 172 North Cedar Street, Imlay City. For all other mail, write P.O. Box 88, Attica, Michigan 48412. WLGA transmitter is located on Grand River Avenue, known in those parts as M43, near Meridian Road in Williamston. While WJOM's transmitter is at 14397 Grange Road in Eagle, Michigan. Both stations are owned by Superior Communications. WJOM may be under a construction permit. This is courtesy of radiolocator.com. Construction permit with the Federal Communications Commission to increase its ERP from 4,300 watts to 25,000 watts and maintain its current transmitter site in Eagle. Meanwhile, WLGH is labeled as the flagship station of the Smile FM network, which has stations and translators all across Michigan. Moving on to 88.9 channel 205, and this is the first of many. This is the first of few FM stations in the Lansing-Jackson area broadcasting in HD, and that's WDBM East Lansing. Impact 89 FM on 88.9 FM analog and 88.9-1 as a variety/college radio format. The station signed on, of course, as WDBM on February 24th, 1989, and at one point used WBDM during the station's construction permit from November 10th, 1987 to February 7th, 1989. Of course, they would sign on officially as WDBM 17 days later. WDBM has a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2,000 watts ERP. Studios are located on the MSU campus at Holden Hall, 234 Wilson Road, Suite G4 in East Lansing. Transmitter is located near the intersection of Forest and Beaumont Roads, also on the MSU campus in East Lansing. Same tower used by WKAR AM and FM and WKAR TV Channel 23. WDBM Impact 89 FM is owned by Michigan State University, licensed to the Michigan State University Board of Trustees. Short space next to them on 89.1 Channel 206 is WOCR, Olivet, Michigan. The One. This is a student-run variety station which signed on the air from Olivet College on April 30th, 1975. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 500 watts from studios located at 320 South Main Street in Olivet. Transmitter is at 150 College Street, also in Olivet. The station is owned by Olivet College Board of Trustees. Short space next to them on 89.3 Channel 207, WJKN FM Spring Arbor. They're known as 89.3 The Arbor, featuring a contemporary Christian music format. This station hit the airwaves in March of 2005. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting with an ERP of 2,500 watts, vertical polarization only. Studios are located on the campus of Spring Arbor University at 106 East Main Street in Spring Arbor. Transmitter is located off Cochran Road in Hanover Township. And the station is, of course, owned by Spring Arbor University. Programming is relayed on 7 transfer stations across South Central, Southwestern, and Southeastern Lower Michigan. And they are as follows. W222BB Battle Creek on 92.3. W246AV Coldwater on 97.1. W252BA Chelsea on 98.3. W252CN Lansing on 98.3. W258AH Kalamazoo on 99.5. W269CS Galesburg on 101.7. And in the Ann Arbor area on W300CO Dexter, Michigan at 107.9. Short space next to them on 89.5 Channel 208 is WBCY, Archibald, Ohio. part of the WBCL radio network, also featuring a contemporary Christian music format. First sign-on is unlisted by Wikipedia. They have a Class B1 license with the FCC, operating at 20,000 watts effective radiated power. These studios are located at WBCL FM at 1115 West Rudisill Boulevard in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Easy for me to say. Mailing address is 1025 West Rudisill Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana 46807. Transmitter is located near the intersection of County Road W and County Road 22 in Ridgeville Township, Ohio. WBCY is owned by Fort Wayne University-based Taylor University and licensed to Taylor University Broadcasting Incorporated. Programming repeats on translator stations W249BT Adrian, Michigan on 97.7 and W258CE Findlay, Ohio on 99.5. And the last of the short space stations, at least in this, is 89.7 channel 209, broadcasting in high definition, and that's WLNZ Lansing. Part of Michigan Radio, Michigan's NPR news station. They feature a public radio news talk format affiliated with Michigan Radio, NPR, American Public Media, Public Radio International, and the BBC World Service that can be heard on 89.7 FM analog and signal subchannels. WLNZ signed on the air from Lansing Community College in 1994. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 420 watts effective radiated power. They have separate studios from the Michigan Radio Network on the Lansing Community College campus at 419 North Capitol Avenue. Their mailing address is 411 North Capitol Avenue, also in Lansing. The transmitter is also on the Lansing Community College campus, not too far from the station at 400 North Capitol Avenue in Lansing. And of course, WLNZ is owned by Lansing Community College and operated by the University of Michigan for its Michigan Radio Network. So this makes it the Michigan radio affiliate for Lansing and Mid-Michigan. 90.1 channel 211 is WYBA Coldwater. Now this is a station that we talked about during the Grand Rapids area rundown. They're part of the Bible Broadcasting Network with a religious format affiliated with the Bible Broadcasting Network. First sign on is unlisted by Wikipedia. They have a Class B license with the FCC, operating at an effective radiated power of 32,000 watts. Programming originates from BBN's headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina. Mailing address is 11530 Carmel Commons Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina 28226. WYBA's transmitter is on M66 and N Drive South in Athens. WYBA, of course, is owned by Charlotte, North Carolina-based Bible Broadcasting Network. 90.5 channel 213, which had broadcast in high definition up until about 2017, now just broadcasts in standard analog, is WKAR FM East Lansing. NPR WKAR. Of course, this is a public radio station which primarily plays classical music and airs news talk programming weekdays. They play jazz music on Saturday nights and folk music on Sunday nights. WKAR FM signed on the air on October 4th, 1948. They have a Class B license with. They not only have a Class B license with the FCC, they are a Class B grandfather's super-powered station, operating with an effective radiated power output of 85,000 watts, which would give them the most powerful signal of any radio station in Lansing. Studios are located on the MSU campus at the Communication Arts and Sciences Building, 404 Wilson Road, room 212, East Lansing. Transmitter is located off of Dobie Road in Okemos, Michigan, which is near the transmitter tower of WKAR TV Channel 23, the local PBS member station in Lansing. WKAR FM is owned by Michigan State University and licensed to the Michigan State University Board of Trustees. 91.1 Channel 216 is WPCJ Pittsford, Michigan. They're known simply as WPCJ 91.1 FM with a religious format, affiliated with Moody Radio and SRN News. Their first sign-on, according to Wikipedia, was possibly around December 3rd of 1984. Station became WPCJ on January 16th, 1985, just weeks after signing on. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 270 watts. Studios, offices, and transmitter are located at the Freedom Farm Bible Church at 9400 Beecher Road in Pittsford, Michigan. And the station is owned by Freedom Farm Bible Church and licensed to the Pittsfield Educational Broadcasting Foundation. Short space next to them on 91.3, as we round out the traditional non-commercial band, is 91.3 Channel 217, which is WCKZ, Orland, Indiana. Brand is Star 88.3 with a contemporary Christian format. The station signed on the air on August 23rd, 1976. WCKZ's FCC license was unlisted on Wikipedia. But they operate with an effective rated power of 7,500 watts. Programming originates from radio station WLAB. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 8459, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46898. WCKZ's transmitter is on Indiana State Road 120 in Nevada Mills, Indiana. Station is owned by Star Educational Media Network and is a main repeater of the aforementioned WLAB 88.3 FM in Fort Wayne. The station's programming is also repeated on 3 translator stations. W209BA Kendallville, Indiana on 89.7, W215BB Warsaw, Indiana on 90.9, and W260BR Auburn, Indiana on 99.9. Now to the commercial side of the FM band, starting off with 92.1 Channel 221, which has 2 stations. The first is Wcsr Fm Hillsdale, known as Radio Hillsdale, with a country music format. Station signed on the air in 1974. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Studios, offices, and transmitter are located at 170 Northwest Street, Hillsdale, Michigan. Wcsr FM is owned by McKibben Radio Group Incorporated. The other station on 92.1 is aired at the Lansing area, and that's WQTX, St. John's, Michigan. Stax 92.1. This is a rhythmic adult contemporary station signing on the air as WRDJ FM in 1972, and this station also has an identity crisis. They used 7 sets in the 70s until becoming WQTX on October 10th of 2005. They have a Class A license with the FCC as well, broadcasting at 4,000 watts. Studios are located at 2495 Cedar Street in the Lansing suburb of Holt, Michigan. Transmitter is located in Olive Township off DeWitt Road. WQTX Stax 92.1 is owned by Dewey Wright and licensed to Midwest Communications Incorporated. 92.9, that would make it a sister station to our next station. 92.9, channel 225. WLMI, Grand Ledge, Michigan. Cruisin' 92.9, featuring a classic hits format. This station signed on as WCER FM in 1965. Although the station's call sign dates back as early as 1963. The station used 4 different sets of call letters from 1979 until October 1st, 2010, when they became WLMI. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,400 watts. Studios are also located at 2495 North Cedar Street in Holt. Transmitter is located at 124 West Allegan Street in downtown Lansing. WLMI is owned by Midwest Communications Incorporated, again making it a sister station to Stax 92.1. 94.1, channel 231, is WWDK Jackson. 94.1, Duke FM. Duke plays the country legends. This is a classic country station, signing on the air as WMKZ FM on July 14th, 1958. This station also had an identity crisis, undergoing 8 call sign changes using 6 different sets of call letters, including WIBM, which they used from November 14th, 1985 through November 15th, 1995. They also used WIBM FM from April 8th, 1987 to June 24th, 1994. And this would be the FM home originally of WVIC. Well, not originally. From March 27, 2001 to March 17, 2015. It was on that day the station became WWDK with its current classic country format. They have a Class B license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting with an ERP of 40,000 watts, which would make it one of the most powerful stations in Lansing. Studios are located at 2495 North Cedar Street, Holt, Michigan. Their transmitter is located off Eaton Rapids Road, or M99, in the town of Springport. WWDK is owned by Dewey Wright and licensed to Midwest Communications Incorporated. And before I forget, let me read this since this is kind of small. This is also the Lansing area affiliate of the Western Michigan Broncos football and men's basketball. So Broncos sports are heard on Duke FM in Lansing. 94.7, channel 234 is WCVM, Bronson, Michigan. Also part of the WBCL radio network with a contemporary Christian format. This station began broadcasting on June 26, 1998. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting with an effective rated power of 4,000 watts. Programming originates from the studios of WBCL FM at 1115 West Rudy Sill Boulevard in Fort Wayne, Indiana. WCVM's transmitter is near the intersection of North 950 East and East 700 North in Greenfield Mills, Indiana. WCVM is also owned by Fort Wayne-based Taylor University, although the official owner written by Wikipedia is Taylor University Broadcasting. Short space next to them on 94.9 channel 235 is one of Lansing's more popular stations, and that's WMMQ East Lansing. Classic Rock, 94.9 WMMQ. That said, this is a classic rock station. They signed on as WCER in 1963 and underwent 4 call sign changes, one of them notably being WVIC, which they used from 1963 till May 6, 1981, then again from June 8, 1983 through September 11, 1983. They also used WVIC FM from May 6, 1981 to June 8, 1983, and again from September 11, 1983 to June 1, 1997. The station became WMMQ and began airing its classic rock format on June 1st of 1997. The station originated from Charlotte, Michigan on 92.7. WMMQ has a Class B license. A Class B license with the FCC operating at 50,000 watts. Studios are located at 3420 Pine Tree Road, Lansing. Transmitter is near the intersection of Holt Road and North Gun Road in Holt, Michigan. Classic Rock 94.9 WMMQ is owned by Town Square Media, licensed to Town Square License LLC. 95.3 channel 237 is WQTE Adrian. Q95 Country. They play country music and is affiliated with ABC Radio. They signed on the air in 1976 as WABJ FM. This would be the FM counterpart to 1490 AM. The station quickly became WQTE shortly thereafter. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting at 3,000 watts. Studios are located at 121 West Maumee Road in Adrian. Again, this may be outdated as this information was supplied by radiolocator.com via the FCC database. So again, that studio location may be outdated. The station's transmitter is at 3000 West Horton Road in Sand Creek. WQTE is owned by Bud Walters and licensed to Southeast Michigan Media Incorporated. 96.5 channel 243 is WQHH, licensed to the Lansing suburb of DeWitt, Michigan. Power 96.5, number 1 for hip hop and R&B. This is an urban/hip hop station, signing on the air on May 26, 1991. And probably the first hip hop station in Michigan outside of Detroit. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 6,000 watts effective radiated power. Studios are located at 600 West Kavanaugh Road in Lansing. Their transmitters on Francis Road near West Cuffler Road in DeWitt, Michigan. WQHH is locally owned by Saginaw-based McDonald Broadcasting. 97.5 Channel 248 is WJIM FM Lansing. 97.5 Now FM. This station has a top 40 CHR format, which signed on the air in 1960. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 45,000 watts. Studios are located at 3420 Pine Tree Road in Lansing. Transmitter is near the interchange of I-96 and US 127 off of Pine Tree Road, presumably behind the station's studios in Lansing. 97.5 Now FM is owned by Town Square Media and licensed to Town Square License LLC. 98.5 Channel 253 is another station we covered during the Grand Rapids rundown, and that's WNWN FM Coldwater. 198.5, which features a country music format. On the air as WTVB FM on November 11, 1950. Used WAVG as a call sign in 1964, became WNWN FM on December 21st, 1977. Added the FM suffix to the call sign in 1995 and then dropped it in 2019. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watt CRP. Studios are located at 70 West Michigan Avenue in Battle Creek. Transmitter is at 417 Herricksville Road, Tecumseh, Michigan. WNWN FM is owned by Duke Wright and licensed to Midwest Communications Incorporated. 99.1 Channel 256, broadcasting in high definition, is another one of Lansing's more popular commercial stations, and that's WFMK East Lansing, branded as 99.1 WFMK. On 99.1 FM analog and 99.1 FM HD1 is adult contemporary music, and chances are they switch to Christmas music during the holidays. This station signed on as WSWM on July 16, 1959, and became WFMK in 1971. They have a Class B license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting with an effective rated power of 28,000 watts. Studios are located at 3420 Pine Tree Road in Lansing. Transmitter is located near the I-96 US 127 interchange off Pine Tree Road in Lansing, which is the same transmitter site WJIM FM uses. WFMK is owned by Town Square Media LLC. 100.3 Channel 262, broadcasting in high definition, is an Indiana station that comes into South Central Michigan, and that's WLKI Angola, Indiana. 100.3 WLKI. On 100.3 FM analog and 100.3-1 is adult contemporary. 100.3-2 is a classic rock station known as U-Rock 101.3. Relayed on translator station W267BE Angola on 101.3 FM. 100.3-3 is a top 40 CHR known as Hot FM 92.7. Relayed on translator station 224BY Angola on 92.7 FM. WLKI began broadcasting as WAFM on November 7, 1969, and became WLKI in 1974. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 4,000 watt CRP. Their studios are located at 330 Intertech Parkway, Suite 300 in Angola, Indiana. Transmitters at 2655 IN 127, also in Angola. WLKI is owned by Stefan Zurich, or rather Stefan Swick. SWICK Stephen Swick, and licensed to Swick Broadcasting Corporation. 100.7 Channel 264, also broadcasting in high definition, is WITL FM Lansing. 100.7 WITL, Lansing's number one for New Country. On 100.7 FM Analog and 100.7-1 is Country Music. 100.7-2 is Contemporary Christian Music, which is a simulcast of WONU FM from Olivet Nazarene University in Kankakee, Illinois. And 100.7-3 is Air 1, which is contemporary worship music. WITL FM signed on as WMRT FM in 1961. Also used WMT and WYFES call letters before becoming WITL in 1966. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 26,500 watts. Studios are located at 3420 Pine Tree Road in Lansing. Their transmitter is located near the intersection of I-96 and US 127 off of Pine Tree Road, again, presumably behind the station studios in Lansing, the same transmitter site used by WJIM FM and WFMK. WITL FM is owned by Town Square Media and licensed to Town Square License LLC. Translator station W237BY Mason on 95.3 relays the WONU simulcast on HD2, while translator station W240CG Weberville, Michigan on 95.9 relays Air 1 on HD3. Okay, we have 7 stations left, so we're just about to the finish line here. 101.7 Channel 269 is WHZZ Lansing. 101.7 Mike FM. We play everything. This is a variety hit station or a Jack FM ripoff, take your pick, that began broadcasting in January of 1967 as WILS FM. So this would be the FM sister station, the 1320. The station also used WKKP and WLYYS call letters before becoming WHZZ on May 15, 1995. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting with an effective rated power of 4,100 watts. Studios are located at 600 West Kavanaugh Road in Lansing. Transmitter is also at that same location. Station's owned by Saginaw, Michigan-based McDonald Broadcasting. 102.5 Channel 273 is WBZV Hudson, Michigan. Buzz 102.5. They feature a classic rock format, which signed on the air as WMXE in 1995. It used WAHU during its construction permit from April 7, 1994 till January 17, 1995. It used WMXE on air from January 17, 1995 until becoming WBZV on July 23rd of 2003. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 6,000 watts. Studios are located at 121 West Maumee Road in Adrian. Again, this address may be outdated. Info supplied by radiolocator.com via the FCC database. The station's transmitter is off of Beecher Road in Osceola, Michigan, It's spelled Osseo, Osseo, Michigan. The station is owned by Mad Sun Investments, LLC. 103.9, channel 280, broadcasting in high definition, is WLEN, Adrian. WLEN, 103.9 FM. On 103.9 FM analog and 103.9-1 is adult contemporary news and sports. 103.9-2 is an all sports talker known as 96.5 The Cave, relayed on translator station W243AD, Adrian, Michigan at 96.5 FM. WLEN signed on January 9, 1965. Of course, the station's call letters stand for Lenawee County, which is where Adrian is located. They have a Class A license with the Federal Communications Commission, broadcasting with an ERP of 3,000 watts. The exact studio location was not found, but I'm assuming they're located in Adrian. Their billing address, though, is P.O. Box 687, Adrian, Michigan, 49221. Their transmitter is also in Adrian, located off of Academy Road. WLEN is owned by Lenawee Broadcasting Company. 105.3, channel 287. This is the last of the HD signals in the area, and that's WKHM FM, Brooklyn, Michigan. K105.3 on 105.3 FM analog and 105.3-1 is Top 40 CHR. And on 105.3-2 is a sports talker known as Fox Sports 101.9, relayed on translator station W270CJ Jackson on 101.9 FM. WKHM FM signed on the air in 1995. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2200 with effective radiated power. Studios are located at 1700 Glenshire Drive in Jackson. Transmitter is off of Browns Lake Road in Summit Township. WKHM FM is owned by Jimmy McKibben, licensed to McKibben Media Group, Incorporated. 106.1, channel 291 is probably the only Lansing station on FM that, well, not really. It was one of two Lansing stations on FM that I could pick up in the southeastern section of the Grand Rapids area. And that's WJXQ, Charlotte, Michigan. Q106. Michigan's rock station. This is an active rocker and the Lansing area affiliate of the Bob and Tom Show, which is based out of Indianapolis. WJXQ signed on as WKHM FM in 1964 when the 106.1 allocation was licensed originally to Jackson. And this was no relation to 105.3 FM in Brooklyn, Michigan, the station we just finished discussing. The current iteration of this station's been on the air since 1976, originally as WJOX FM and became WJXQ with its rock music format on March 11th, 1981. So this is 3 months before this guy here was put on this planet. All right, WJXQ has a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting with an effective rated power of 49,000 watts. Studios are located at 2495 North Cedar Street in Holt, Michigan. Their transmitter is at 12113 Prime Road in Springport, Michigan. This is in northern Jackson County. WJXQ is owned by Midwest Communications Incorporated. All right, final page, final two stations. 106.9, channel 295 is WSAE Spring Arbor. They're listed as home.fm. This station features modern adult contemporary, both secular and Christian. This station signed on the air on June 29, 1963. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 3,900 watts. Their studios are located on the campus of Spring Arbor University at 106 East Main Street in Spring Arbor, and their transmitter is in Horton, Michigan, off of Cochran Road. WSAE is owned by Spring Arbor University, and their programming is repeated on the 7 translator stations we talked about earlier. And the final station is 107.9, channel 300, WVAC FM Adrian. 107.9 WVAC Radio. This station plays a mix of top 40 CHR and alternative rock. They signed on the air approximately in 1991. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting with an ERP of just 87 watts. Studios are located. The studios and transmitter are located on the Adrian College campus at 112 South Madison Street in Adrian, and is owned by Adrian College. All right, so there's a trek through Michigan's capital city and South Central Lower Michigan, AM and FM radio stations throughout Lansing, Jackson, Hillsdale, and Adrian. All right, our next market in this series will be the Flint area and the Tri-Cities. Now, those of you not from Michigan, not familiar with cities, that's Saginaw Bay City and Midland, and I'll be looking at the stations from those areas in our next installment, so stay tuned for that. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell twice every time I post a vid. This is Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and happy listening. Peace out.